Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by. So today I'd like to talk to you all about the word consent and a trend I've noticed where it seems like conservatives don't understand what that word means. The person I noticed that inspired this video was Bitmoji brought to life Matt Walsh. Now, if you don't know who Matt Walsh is, I'll just say be grateful. But he works for the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro's news network, which should already be a red flag. If your news agency has the word daily in it, it's probably trash. But either way, Matt Walsh on his show decided to deep dive into a children's book called C is for Consent, one of those cardboard books. And he went to town. But one of the things, like, the book's all about basically some kid and his, being told that what consent is. And it talks about something along the lines of, like, family coming to visit and the grandma telling the kid to, give her a kiss, and the kid doesn't want to do that. And it's basically, it's written really cringy, if I can be honest with you. Like, the message is good, but, it's a kid's book, so you're not exactly going to get, like, Pulitzer writing out of it. But the message of it is basically, consent is important, and you should get consent before you physically interact with people. He took from this that progressives and left-leaning people have to make everything about sex, even talking to children, because the book is about consent. Consent is not inherently sexual. Consent just means you agree. That's all that means. When you shake someone's hand, and you stick your hand out to shake their hand, you're non-verbally asking for their consent. You are giving them the offer, and they have to accept it by, shaking your hand. You ask for consent all the time. It's not verbally saying, do you consent to this action? No one, I can't say nobody, but people don't really talk like that to one another. But the idea behind it is still the same. Consent just means getting permission, agreeing to something. That isn't sexual. That just means agreeing. I don't understand that. I'm sure that he also doesn't mean it that way. He doesn't literally think that this is a sexual thing in nature. He just, at least I hope he doesn't. I assume the dude's got degrees, but they still want to, pretend that you paint your enemy as a sexual deviant that is going after kids, even though the whole point of the book is about getting permission from people before you touch them. The second person that I noticed with the consent issue is, unfortunately, Jeremy of the Quartering. This was probably a week or so ago. It was Brie Larson's birthday, and he posts a picture of her. Happy birthday, Brie Larson. There was some little thing underneath it, but the picture of her is at I assume it was at, like, some interview she was doing, but she was wearing a low-cut top. And the comments are just ridiculous about, oh, can't wait to see people get mad at you for this one. Oh, like, just all this and that. But it seems odd to me because they're saying that that's a consent thing, but the difference is she's wearing clothing. There's no consent involved with something like that. She consented to herself to wear that. That's arguing that anybody would say that she didn't consent for the photo or something like that, but she was on a talk show. She was wearing what she wanted to. She consented to herself. That's also not, you can't take someone's consent for their clothing. They left the house that way. There's no issue. I don't know where this consent has to be a sexual thing. Admittedly, I do understand that most of the time when consent is said, the actual word, people are talking about sexual things in nature, but can't say it enough. All consent means is agreeing to something.